Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
We got Mark today. I know I said I was not going to do an interview tonight because I was supposed to be in Malaysia, but knowing me, I got my dates wrong again. It's actually next week I'll be in Malaysia. I'll try to actually do a live show in Malaysia while I'm actually fishing with Randy, maybe from, what's Randy think of? Half Cast Customs, huh? Half Cast Customs. But anyway, I've got Mark from, where? From Brisbane, maybe?
Bundaberg
originally. With us here, Mark is actually a pro staff of our shop. Used to be a pro staff. Still a good friend, and we still support him. And also, I think you're doing some promos for Berkeley and Pearl Fishing. Yeah, the boys in Pearl Fishing looked up to you, obviously. So, Mark does bass comms. Drives his boat like a lunatic on the river. Every time I see him, oh, my trailer's broken, my boat's broken. Right. But yeah. But
it's all part of the fun.
Part of the fun, yeah. So Mark's been a real veteran in the bass fishing scene. So yeah, thank you, Mark, for coming again. Let me ask you a first question, all right? The first question I always ask everybody, right?
Yep.
Okay. What's the first memory of a fish that you caught? How old were you?
I thought you'd
what
ask
did
that.
you? Yeah.
So my first memory was on the banks of the Noosa River. I was probably about 5 with my grandparents. I caught a brim.
You caught a brim? On what?
I had the fishing rod my grandfather got me at the time was Rangoon cane, so it was a cane.
It was a cane, like a cane?
Cane, yes, and I think I had like a 2 or 3 inch
You
LV.
are not old, you are ancient.
Yes, very. Okay. But yeah, it was
LV?
with a little tiny LV.
Okay. Is your grandfather alive?
No, he's
But I bet you the LV reel's still running.
Yep. Yeah, no, I did that. He used to take us down there, my sister and I, for holidays, and there was a jetty and float lining for garfish off the jetty. It was just great fun.
Oh, okay.
You know, and I still remember catching that first fish.
Okay. Yeah. How old were you?
Probably about 5.
Oh, so that was like 100 years ago.
Yep. And then it just, from there, I grew up in Bundy, his hometown, and then all of our holidays were on the Kalan River, which is below Mondurun Dam.
Yeah. Mondurun Dam. Yeah. Is that why you always go Mondurun Dam to fish? Because that's your stomping ground?
Stomping ground? No. Down the salt water, we were down the river, the mouth end of it, and just grew up walking the beaches, walking the river flats.
Yeah.
Whiting, flathead. My first lure fishing was chasing flathead up there. I got into that up there.
Okay.
Guy put me onto cotton cordell. Was a little broken, very silvery, like a whiting, and it used to just slay the.
Okay. What happened to them? They still run? They still sell
those lures? About cotton cordell. I've still got that original. It's got no paint left on it, but and then back in those days, lots of flathead. Like I got up there probably half a dozen over a metre long flatties up there. It was just fun off the bank.
Awesome. So, saltwater and freshwater, right? I mean, we all know that you are a pro in freshwater.
Yeah.
I mean, Mark fishes for Bass Nation.
Bass Nation ceases to exist this year.
Yeah.
It was going to start and it didn't. I did 2 years as a pro in Bass Nation, 3 years as a co-angler.
At ABT or Bass Nation?
In Bass Nation, and then before that I was doing the ABT Electrics.
Okay.
And then before that there was another comp that I did, which is where I started in the bass fishing. I used to take my son along when he was about 3. It was just at one of those local comps, and we did, 8 rounds a year. It was good fun.
Okay.
I'd take my son fishing and camping, and it was,
Yeah. So, saltwater and freshwater.
Love them both.
Love them both. Which is your favorite and why?
At the minute, it's the freshwater.
Because you don't have to wash your boat.
That's a big part of it. American boat, you've got to, because they're really not designed for the salt. If I go to the salt, it's a 3-hour job to wash the boat top to tail, hose all, everything down and get all the salt off it. But yeah, it doesn't worry me. I do enjoy. I enjoy the competitions. I joined a fishing club back in Bundy when I was probably, how old are you in grade 9?
How old?
12, 13, 14, something like that. And then I did that, I won that club I was in, then I won the local thing, and I just sort of went on from there and did that, and then got out of it. And when I moved to Brisbane, joined a club up here, won the division I was in the first year of that as well, and that's all in salt water.
Oh, okay.
That was all bait fishing, no lures.
So how did you get into freshwater?
one of my mates just took me out and said, oh, you're going to come and have a go at this.
Yeah, dam fishing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that caught my first bass at Moogara, trolling.
Okay.
And that was, you know, a good 45 centimetre bass.
Yeah.
You know, and it just sort of went on from there. I did a comp with him.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just sort of rolled on from there. I really enjoyed it. I like getting away from the city and getting out camping and a bunch of mates. I've made some amazing friends.
Yeah.
You know, through that whole years, and you know, from that, you know, going back, my son's turned 20 now, so
17 years,
16 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, and still got a lot of mates, you know, now from those days.
Yeah. Jeremy just asked a question. Actually, another Jamie asked a question. What happened to the grandfather's fishing rod? You buried with him?
It was on the shelf at Mum's, and like Mum did, she's thrown everything out.
Okay. Jeremy just asked a question, right? Which is a pretty good question. What's Mark's most insane catch? It's not his wife.
No. Well, I probably was insane at the time.
Sorry, Mrs. Petersen or ex-Mrs. Petersen. Yeah. So what's your most
insane catch?
Yeah.
Oh,
Ming just joined too. Hi, Ming.
Hey, Ming. How are you, mate?
Yeah.
Most insane catch, probably some big flatties. You know, that flatty off the bank in the Clan River. You know, it was 1.1 metres of flatty on 4-pound string.
Did you have photos?
Yeah, I still got photos.
Okay, photos or it didn't? Oh, we're going to post the photos. I'll send them to me tonight.
Yeah.
Or else it didn't happen. But okay, so 1.1 metre.
1.1 metre on 4-pound line. So my first Baitcaster was a Daiwa Millionaire. I was an apprentice boilermaker, and I was earning $50 a week, and I paid $300 for this thing. Mm-hmm. And I made the rod myself, and I used to. It was a Rebel crankbait of the time, and yeah, that's probably, I still remember, very memorable catch.
Okay, awesome.
So I hit it once and cast out again and just smashed it. Yeah, good fun.
Also, 1.1 metre flathead. It's almost a bit shorter than the 3 metre flathead, but yeah, no, but that's massive.
Back in those days, and you know, unfortunately, not like today, we took them and you ate the bastards.
Oh, that's why there isn't any more 1.1 metre flathead.
That's what we did, you know. You're renowned for catching your threadies in the Brisbane River.
Yeah.
We were catching threadies in the Clan River back in the day.
Oh, okay.
And we were catching them on yabbies.
Oh, really?
We used to go up in the deep water in the Clan and fish with yabbies.
You know, us Asians, we don't catch threadies on yabbies because we eat the fucking
crayfish, small crayfish.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, it was just a great time. I had my first boat when I was in grade 8. I worked on a mate's farm. One of the guys in the fishing club worked on his farm, saved some money, bought a little tinny. My parents bought this tiny little outboard, 3 horsepower. If you wanted reverse, you turned it around the other way, a little fuel tank. And there was a few of us had boats like that up there, and you'd disappear for the whole day.
Awesome.
It was just great times.
Okay, so you fished, Mark, you fished so many different dams, right? Which is your favorite? Which is your favorite dam to fish? I mean, for bass, we're talking about bass fishing right now.
For bass fishing, yeah.
What's your favorite?
At the minute, you know, it's Somerset and Wivenhoe. And because they're big, they're fat, they're and you know, they're taking spoon. Somerset is diamonds and dust. You know, we went out on the weekend. We got a couple of 49s. Didn't get anything over 50, but you know, we probably got 6 or 8. We went again the next day and got another 8 odd so fish. But yeah, you know, when you're getting them that size, you know, they're pretty amazing.
How big are you talking about?
50 plus. You know,
for the fork or to the tail?
For the fork.
Okay, the fork as in like from here.
Yeah.
To the top of the fish, 50 plus. That's massive.
There was some 55 forkers caught out there on the weekend.
Yeah, okay.
And they're so big and fat.
Yeah, so Somerset is Robbie from Somerset River. We love you. I love you. Our bro, stomping ground.
Yeah, Robbie's, you know, Brett Claus is one of Robbie's guys. Brett's a lovely guy. He's had his birthday recently. He's older than me. So
okay.
There you go.
So he's older than you. How is that possible?
Exactly. But yeah, no, Robbie's got Somerset well drilled. There's a lot of great anglers around.
Okay.
You know, and there's, you know, it's all about spoons and spoons and plastics at the minute. A couple of the boys are into these deep crankbaits.
Okay. Yeah, that was what Robbie was telling me. Yeah, the IKA 100s and stuff. Yeah.
You can't get them anymore, so.
I can. I just be lazy, but yeah, I'll get some.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so like with Somerset, how would you recommend the boys to fish Somerset at the moment right now? You know,
at the moment now it's plastics and spoons. So here's a couple of your imers that I love and use. But
these are the Ichimasus. I didn't ask him to take. Man, I don't know why they go to my shop. They take stuff and they keep showing people all secrets. But it's all good for you guys.
I do like these. I've been fishing these little 20 grammers and the 30 grammers. I've got some on that. It was interesting. I take them apart. I turn them around and put the fat ass piece at the back. And
fat ass. What do you mean? You tow it backwards?
Tow it backwards so that the fat bit is at the back, and you get a lot more.
And that's trolling?
No, casting.
Oh, just casting. Okay.
It's just trolling shit.
Yeah.
So it's casting, and it's just a slow wind. And on that slow wind, you got that heavier weight at the arse.
Oh, okay. So that's a tip. So Mark, instead of hooking them in the front of the head, he hooks it at the back of the head. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what does the sea right from the blue?
Yeah, that's actually one of my favourite colours. That one, that catches good. So yeah, and again, it's. Ooh, I'll put it in the finger.
It's considered sold. Ambulance.
It's not coming out. Anyway, so yeah, get it out.
Get it out. I'm trying. Yeah. Okay. This is the blue. Humphrey, get it out. Okay.
So yeah,
Mark just
both of these. Blue is a big colour at the minute.
Blue and purple. They seem to go crazy over blue and purple.
Yeah, blue. And if you put the UV, that pink on that will be UV. Same with this one. I particularly like these imers because the underneath side of it's got a V, and they get a real good flutter down.
Yep.
When I'm fishing the spoons, you know, a lot of people, they let them fall down on a tight line. I like to throw them out, crank them up, half a dozen turns, whatever you want, and then I rip a lot of line off and put the line on the surface of the water.
Oh, just
and
watch
let it flow down.
Yeah.
And you just watch the line. If you get the slightest tick, you're on.
Okay, cool.
I took my boat down to Hinds, which you can now do, but around on the electric only. And I got down near the wall. I got 8 all on that, just casting it out.
So, Mark, another question. So, how deep and how many grams?
There's a school of thought out there, heavier, to keep them on the bottom.
Okay.
In a lot of my thought process, I like the 20 grammers.
In how many depth of water, roughly?
The bass at the minute are anywhere from 30 to 50 feet.
Also using 20 gram for 30 feet, which is 10 meters.
Yeah, but
okay.
the idea, and a lot of palms, the slow blat and the oval has got a nice big wide, so it really flatters. So I crank it up, and then I like to let it drop naturally.
It's a form of micro jigging too. I mean, micro jigging or jigging, right? And it's a new technique that you guys have obviously picked up, because when I first started, I told people that, you know, bass takes jigs, and nobody believed me. And it's awesome to see somebody like you.
It's huge, you know. Everybody's throwing jigs from these to palms to Helco twisties and all the rest of it.
Yeah, Helco twisties, the boys like Robbie's been telling me they've been throwing it like.
Yeah, so you take the big hooks off, put a treble on the end, or you put different types of jig assist hooks on the end. So you get rid of these bigger hooks. I take them off and put smaller jig assist hooks.
Like those that comes with the Eco Gear, you know those?
That sort of thing. Atomic do their trick bits.
Yeah.
I like them.
Okay.
And then, you know, again, but they hang out, you know, an inch or so out the back, and it's amazing. You get them on the side of the foot. If they swipe at it, a lot of the bass will swipe at it. You're getting them on.
Sometimes I think fish, right? Why do they swipe on lures? Because first thing, they're territorial. Second thing too, a lot of times fish actually bite a lure, not because they're hungry, but because they got no hands, right? So if they see something they've never seen before and they're actually curious, I think they actually swim up and use their mouth to feel it. But when they do that, you probably it's too late and you actually got them. So a lot of people say, oh, you know, this doesn't look like the bait that they're eating, or you know what I mean? But most times the fish is either hitting the lure because they're aggressive or because they're curious, you know? That's how I feel. So,
and, you know, the size of the bait that's in the dams nowadays, everywhere that's got bony brim in them, which is the problem, you know, it's just, the dams have got their own ecosystem like the ocean. It's just insane to see the schools of bait, and the bass, I think, have adapted from their genetics to what they used to run up rivers and all the rest of it, to schooling fish like mackerel. They're pelagics. you know, and they're running from school to school, and they're here, they're there, then they're back again. They'll come and go on your sounder.
Yeah.
So I think the bass as a species are evolving in our dam.
Okay, I hate bass fishing because I suck at it. Yeah, but that's because I don't fish it enough, you know. Like, I do go and chase bass and stuff in the dams, but I mean, it's so hard if you don't do it because you got no tide, you got almost no wind. You know, it's like unless you know this place, you really are lost. You know, so that's for me anyway. But
you
for
know,
you,
fishing the dams, you know, Lowrance sounders and the evolution of the Genesis maps.
Yeah.
You know, Barry Oxenford is just a legend for Queensland. He's mapped every dam up and down, hunt thousands of hours into mapping, and it's the greatest resource, you know, a fisherman's got, whether you're social or whatever, because you can drive.
You see, many people talk about, oh man, look at this guy and the best he catch, and look at all their Instagram likes and stuff like that. Nobody talks about all these people behind the scenes that's put hours and hours, like you said, you know, writing down Genesis maps and stuff for everybody to share. You know, these are, to me, are the real fishing heroes. Not that 20-year-old or 30-year-old kid that, you know, goes out and catch a, you know what I mean? Like, to me, anybody
from Lowrance's perspective, when they did the mapping, and they gave away worldwide a bunch of sound, what the greatest marketing campaign ever.
Yeah. So
you know, they get all these people to push your maps
and
up.
do it for free.
For free, and you got the greatest thing.
But I mean, there are people that actually do it not because obviously they want the sounder too, and you know, and, you know, a lot of credit has to be mentioned to all those people that actually put, you know, time into the fishing industry for all of us to share. You know, so yeah. Okay.
So yeah, you know, that's that with Somerset at the minute and that dam, you know, but when we're coming into that springtime now, I really enjoy fishing in the trees. Heavy timber, just that adrenaline of getting a lock drag and getting smashed by a big bass is so much fun, and trying to drag them out. It's like jack fishing.
Okay, so I want to ask you another thing, just for the viewers out there. What is your setup? Like for bass fishing, what would you, like a main line and what leader?
I'm obviously fishing, I've got Berkeley line, typically 10 pound.
10 pound fire line or something like that?
I've got some Major Craft.
Dangan braid or something?
No, the rods.
Oh, okay, Vokies.
Vokies,
yeah.
I've got a couple of heavier ones. That's typically what I throw the spoons on.
Okay.
I'm running Abu MGXs.
Okay. They're so good, those reels, man. They're beautiful,
and you know, depending, 10 pound
10 pound leader? So 10 pound.
Because you're out on the flats. There is stumps and so forth down underneath there, but typically a 10 pound leader. Throwing plastic, I'll go down to 8 or something like that.
Okay. Awesome.
And
do you think that the smaller leader really encourage more the bites?
If you're in clear water, so I haven't been to Glenbourne this year, but Glenbourne's down at Scone, down in New South Wales, and when it's full, it's gin clear. It's insane. You can see 30 feet down. Yes.
So don't try to drown your wife in there.
No.
Okay.
Find her quite easily, and it's very, very low at the minute. You know, you're fishing small plastics because there's no bonies down there. It's just gudgeons and all that sort of stuff. And you're fishing. We did a grand final down there a year or so ago, and we're fishing in the trees to the edge, throwing little plastics on 6 pound, and I got towed up. I don't know, about 6 or 7 times. And it's just, it is what it is. But you've got to fish that light typically, because the water it's like
clear.
Bottled water.
Okay. Humphrey just asked a question, right? Besides bass, what is your next favorite target fish?
I like fishing for threadies because I grew up fishing for threadies.
Okay. Where, Bundy?
Yeah, in there.
Okay.
In the clan. Not as big as you get in the river here.
Okay.
I haven't given it that much time of late, but there seems to be a few around. I've got a bit of time next week, so I might go out.
Yeah, I'm actually fixing my boat. So if you want, I'll jump in your boat. So I don't have to wash my boat. I can wash yours. You can wash your own boat.
Next week, yeah.
Oh, next week I'll be in Malaysia.
Oh, bugger.
Oh.
So and I'm keen to get out and get some threadies. I've had a couple of good sessions out there. Got 4 or 5 in one day, and it was just awesome.
We're in the Port of Brisbane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's my invite?
Oh, that was a couple of years ago.
Okay. I'll take you. I promise.
Yeah. That and Dewey's, you know, I've got a mate that works the wharves.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I went fishing one day, and not so close to the wharf. And anyway, one of the security guard came and I was like,
He's
oh.
not security. He's the chief tie-up.
Yeah,
Mark's his name.
Yeah, Mark.
He's the dude that started me on bass fishing.
Yeah, all right. So this guy came to me and I was like, oh man, here we go. I was going to yell at me. He's like, oh, you from Big Tackle Store? You sponsor my friend Mark Petersen. I'm like, oh yeah, I do. He's like, yeah. Oh, I thought him. And Mark that works in the wharf actually caught a barra.
Yes,
he caught a barra in the port of Brisbane. All right.
So he was he was on the tie-up boats when the tugs had come in, and he was fishing where you and I couldn't fish, and pulled a nice 90-odd centimetre barra out of there.
So they do exist in the port of Brisbane, the barras and stuff. So I know Mark that works on the wharf. I mean, and he told me he pulled a barra up, so that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and they get cracking fish off the wharves. They drop down the front when it's quiet. Big tailer and all sorts of stuff. So
I love the port of Brisbane fishing. Like it is like people think, do you actually eat fish from port of Brisbane? Man, the fishing there is fantastic. I think maybe because the pool chute chucks a lot of effluent now, and it's
a lot better than it used to be.
Yeah, it attracts a lot of the bait fish, and the bait fish obviously attracts the big fish, so it attracts the anglers. So yeah, I actually really enjoy port of Brisbane fishing. A lot. I that's one of my favorites. It's really
amazing.
Yeah, it's really pretty for me. Very relaxing, you know. Yeah. My form of fishing, we just teabag all day, you know. So I mean, people say, "Oh man, all you do is teabag." I'm like, man, I work the whole bloody day. Last thing I want to do is just go crazy and cast.
It's like when they built the port, they put enclosed there, and some of the photos of Duncan from D&H Reels.
Yeah.
He's shown me. He's been invited in to some of the guys inside the wall.
They called a Jurassic Park.
Oh my god!
Where the port of Brisbane in the end, where they're actually doing the land filling in whatever. Anyway, man. So sometimes, I mean, at the end there's a pool of water, and all the big fish are stuck in there. We call it Jurassic Park. So
it's not like it's. Yeah, there's not much left.
You can't really fish there,
so,
can you?
You know, you can't. You're not allowed. So I'm going back, probably 10 years. These guys used to go in there, and some of the stuff Duncan's shown me, trolling.
Duncan's been cheating, huh?
And cod like this, it's just insane. Cod, snapper, everything monstrous in there.
Awesome. Yeah, I've always heard stories and stuff like that. I think that I had actually met a customer that came to our shop and told me that he works for the port, and they actually have like a family day. They have a club or a family day that they go there once a year, or something like that. And the fish, he tells me, it's crazy. See the groupers they get, it's like really big Queensland groupers and stuff like that. I mean, that is like
some of these videos is wild.
It's crazy. So
there's a lot of good fish around Brisbane, the Gold Coast, the whole place. Look at some of the guys, the jacks that they're pulling out of the Gold Coast. Yeah. You just got to put the time in. Time and effort.
Fishing.
Time on water equals fishing your boat.
Just as like everybody asks me, Ivan, why do you do so well in the port of Brisbane? Because I'm there fucking 3 times a night.
But you don't put the video up of when you go and you
exactly. But like I'm there 3 nights a week. Out of that 3 nights, maybe I might hit fish on 1 night or 2 nights, and I make a video and I post it up. But the hours I spend there, 8 hours each trip, But you just have to put time with anything. Like Mick Horn, the king of jack fishing. If Mick Horn went to fish only once a month, I don't think it'd be good. But Mick Horn also invested so much time in jack fishing, That's why it's all about, we're not superhuman. We're all not superhuman. It's honestly the time you invest in the form of fishing you enjoy. That I think, makes us better, because it's just like riding a bicycle, right? Yeah. You do a stunt one day, you do a flip, the next day you do 3 flips, But how
time on water, practice,
and
just try different things.
So Mark, I just want to ask you another thing too. So you're not fishing the comps this year?
No, I've had a bit of a down year this year. I've renovated my house, I've sold my house, I bought another house.
Just got a new job?
Getting a new job, yes. That starts in a couple of weeks. So I'll fish the ABTs again next year.
Oh man, I love ABT. I love Steve Morgan too.
Well,
Morgie is awesome.
He's been around. He was, they were the instigators.
Oh man, these are the people that have invested their whole lifetime for Australian fishing.
So we're talking about Barra, and Steve Morgo's caught a metre plus Barra at the port on fly.
I don't believe that. I'm sure he did. Yeah. But Steve and even his brother Tim and them. Yeah. They've invested their whole life into Australian fishing, and big respect.
Timmy Morgan, Brim and Bass in the same year.
Yeah.
you know,
Kings,
geez,
yeah. So
you know.
big respect to all these boys, yeah. So so I want to ask you, what about, have you chased barra in dams?
Yeah, yeah.
What's your favorite dam for barra?
You know, I've fished Mondrian and Awonga back in the day before the floods. I got sucked into to Mondrian. We went out there, quite some years ago. I took my old man's 13-foot Quintrex, little steering wheel at the front with the 30, and I had a little tiny electric on the back, and we got 7 barra that first day in the old man's boat. And I was just like, right, I'm into this.
Yeah.
And then I've been back and got a few more in the old man's boat again, and then I had various tinnies, gone back myself, and didn't catch a lot after that. Went again at Christmas time in my boat, got a couple, got dusted up, and then I had some engine troubles and came home. But yeah, it's about that time again. So
okay, yeah. They say I was talking to Matt from Baramba Lewis.
Yeah.
And Matt is used to work in pure fishing too, obviously.
Yeah.
Matt's a wealth of knowledge.
These damn deep jig heads.
Yeah. And Matt is telling me that next year would be probably the next two or 3 years would be awesome for barra in the dam. So you guys, if you guys want to chase barra, this is probably the season to do it, like the next few years. So yeah.
Both Mondrian. If you follow the couple of guides that are in Mondrian, they've been getting good fish all winter.
Yeah.
So they're in there, they're growing, you know, a 70.
Oh, they say 70 to 90.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the fish is definitely growing. So yeah. But like I said, Matt said that, you know.
And it's, you know, it's the same thing. It's, you know, it's time on water. Yeah. You're going to go up for a while, probably spend some money with the guides.
Yeah.
Get them to give you an idea.
I had the privilege of fishing with Rod Harrison 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't at Awonga, but was at Boyne River.
Okay.
Oh man, I love you know, Rod Harrison, like people like Dave Downey, you know, and his good friends Ron Maddings. These are the people that
started
the whole industry, dedicated their life in the industry, and you know what? They're not on Instagram, and people forget about them. But you have to understand they have a wealth of knowledge. Like, you know, you watch YouTube right now and you hear people say, I caught black bass and stuff like that. Man, Rod Harrison caught black bass in the 70s on fly. They didn't even know what it was called. He had to smuggle the fish into his suitcase, came back to Sydney, bring it to the university, and they identify it as the black bass.
Oh, right. Hey,
so, like, you know, you got people here, I caught black bass. Man, Rod Harrison done this 50 years ago.
And they were doing it on tackle that's, you know, half the quality of what we've got nowadays.
I fished with Rod Harrison, right? And man, me and my friend Darren was in front of the boat, and he was just sitting behind, because Rod is pretty 85 now, maybe? I think, yeah. And we were just casting for barra and stuff, and then all of a sudden we see this lure from the back, boom, straight into the honey hole, man. He can still cast, Rod. I'm like, Rod, that was my spot. He just laughed. And I really enjoyed myself with Rod. And there are Nugget, Dave has helped this shop.
The club scene around Brisbane for
He
many years.
He still is, you know. He lived in Harvey Bay now, he still comes back. And you know what? These are all the old guards of Australian fishing, you know. None of this Instagram stuff, none of this Facebook like stuff. Man, these are people that really gave their life for Brisbane fishing, and we the younger boys should not forget these people, you know, because without them,
you know, as a kid, you know, I used to go down to pedal the bike down to the book exchange and buy all the old black and white bloody fishing, you know, back all that stuff.
Yeah. This is all fishing legends, and all the young kids these days don't even know who they are, which is pretty sad. Okay, I'm going to ask you one question, and this is probably going to be the last question, which I ask all my stuff, but I'm going to modify it a bit, all right? I always ask everybody, like, what do you hate about the Australian fishing scene and like, okay? But I want to ask you first thing, right? I'll modify it for you. This is our last question. What do you like about the bass competition scene, and what do you hate about the bass competition scene?
I've always fished fishing clubs and competitions, and I'm a competitive person. I've always played sport and all that sort of stuff, coached soccer and all that sort of stuff. I like the competition side of it. I like that. Yeah. I've got 4 hours, I've got to catch my 2 fish, and I've got to try and keep getting bigger ones, and just that, it's stressful.
Yeah. You like the pressure.
Yeah. and then it's all over, and then you go back, you go in, you go out, and you do it again for another 4 hours, and you know, it's, yeah, I enjoy that. What do I don't like? There's social media there's a lot of bullshit out there. I don't enjoy
bullshit as in, what do you mean, as in like information bullshit, or bullshit as in fights, or
fights and talking, all that sort of crap. It's, you know, even in tournaments, you know, we're not fishing for cattle stations.
Yeah, we're not in America. Wake up to yourselves.
You know, enjoy it,
Yeah.
and that sort of stuff. You know, social media is great, and it's social media. You know, kids and bullying, all that sort of stuff, and it flows through to everything. You know, you get the good and the bad about it.
Yeah, okay.
You know,
Yeah.
I've met some really great people. You know, when I first started in Bass Nation, I asked Steve Kanowski, anybody that knows bass fishing knows Killer, and we...
Killer Lewis?
No, Steve
Okay,
Kanowski, Killer's his
yeah.
nickname. You don't know him then?
Yeah, I don't know him.
He came in and bought some lures off you that I told him to come get.
Really? Everybody comes in and everybody tells, I don't
you know,
know who
Steve's
he is.
just a legend of it. He's won everything, you know, AFC and all of that sort of stuff. He's a lovely guy, you know, and we're great mates now. Wherever we fish together and all that sort of stuff, you camp together and you get on piss together.
So the friendship you form from competitive
lots of, you know, that's the good side of it.
Yeah. So,
you know,
okay, I lied. I said that was the last question. Maybe one more question, right? For anybody that's going to do competitive bass fishing, what would be like a young kid that wants to start out with ABT or whatever? What would you actually advise them, or, you know,
have a go. So in ABT, their format nowadays is shared weight. So you go in as the co-angler with the boater, and you work together as a team, effectively, you know, to get your bag of fish for the day. So you work with the boater, the pro, or whatever. You know, that's a good format. There's plenty of conversation. I've done it once, and that's ABT's format. There's plenty of information sharing and that sort of thing. So it's a good thing to learn. The Bass Electrics, which ABT do, I did that for, I don't know, 8 years, something like that.
Yeah.
Again, a lot of great guys, and there's some great fishermen in that. Have a go. You know, you can get into that sort of tournament fishing for a couple of grand. Stewie Franz is selling his boat. Nice little fiberglass boat, a couple of grand. There you go. You know,
that'll get you, pretty much.
That'll get you in.
And a lot of people think that they got to join a competition to win. Nah, you join a competition just to enjoy yourself, you know. And if you win,
and learn,
it's a bonus, you know.
Yeah, and then, you know, I did the electrics, and then I thought, oh, okay, I'll give this Bass Nation thing a go as co-angling, you know. And I won one round. I think came second or third, you know, in the first year, and just you go from there, and then you buy a boat and you have a crack.
Yeah, that's what I love about fishing and competition fishing. You can have a $30,000 boat. A kid with a Kmart rod can still beat you.
That's
you
right.
know what I mean?
You know, just because
if
if you got a nice boat doesn't mean you're a genius.
That's right.
We all have Gumby days.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, thank you, Mark. Thank
Thanks,
you for
Ivan.
the friendship, for the
Thank you.
last couple of
It's been
years,
lovely
and
working with
support
you.
and stuff like that. Thank you. And
Keep it going.
Yeah.
The big man behind the camera.
Yeah. So, guys, next week I'll be in Malaysia fishing for sailfish. Hopefully the Wi-Fi or the internet is good and I can do a live video. But if I can't, I can't. So, if I don't see you guys next week, I'll see you guys the week after. So, thank you for tuning in. I'll catch you guys in the shop.